Hi, my loves. So, I wanted to come on here real quick and just talk with you guys. There's a lot of stuff right now that you can see that's going on in the world, right? So, everybody is being affected by different, mainly it's with the COVID. A lot of people are going through a lot, so a lot of their fears are showing up, a lot of their beliefs are coming up. And in this time, it's really easy for us to get caught up in that same type of energy and in that same type of fear and in those same type of beliefs and all these things. And it's not saying that what people are believing or what they're going through is not valid, right? Because we validate their feelings, we validate their emotions and what they're going through, but we also choose to keep the focus within ourselves. So, what I want to really get into is about our self concept. So, we have to think about if something that somebody says triggers us, we have to take personal and radical ownership as to why what they said would trigger us. There is something within us that either believes what they said is true, has a fear about what they said is true, or just simply something about what they said has rocked our nervous system in some type of way because of how we feel inside. It always comes back down to our self concept and to our beliefs about ourselves. So if you notice that there is something that somebody said that you don't align with, something that somebody said that you got upset with, meanwhile, that it could have been. Let me give you some context before I get into that. So there was a situation with me maybe 2 months ago. So I have been on a weight loss journey, or really getting fit, right? Which has been going on for since January of last year. And or was it January? Or I don't know. During COVID, 2020 is when I started losing weight. But it was January when I started personal training and really started getting fit, started getting healthy, really started like changing myself up on another level. Like the level up was like a lot higher, right? So in that time, I've lost about 27 pounds, almost 30 pounds. So there was a situation where I was at a farmer's market, and one of the other local business owners that I hadn't seen in a while, he came up to me and he was like, "So Joyce, how many businesses you have now?" Whatever. I was like, "I don't know, six," like joking around. I mean, it's only two, but that's what I said to him. And he goes, "Yeah. And how much more weight are you going to lose? Because you're looking real skinny." And he said that, and I stayed quiet. I didn't say anything back to him. And then I looked at my team member, and she was extremely uncomfortable. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it's my responsibility as a woman to speak up and to say something to this man. So I look at him and I said, what did I say? It's like, it's not your place to say anything about a woman's weight, and it's definitely not your place to say anything about my weight. And he, like, got pissed. He shut down. He was, like, on another level. And he walked away. And I was so mad. Like, I went into the car. I was just like, how could he talk about my weight? Blah, blah, blah. All these things. And yes, he was wrong. He was dead wrong for what he said. He shouldn't have said anything. No man should ever make a comment on a woman's weight. I still stand behind that 100%. But there was something within me that had this belief of, if I lose a whole lot of weight, I'm going to look skinny, or I'm not going to look good, or whatever. And I know this might be contrary to what a lot of us may want or believe, which is, oh, I want to be skinny, right? But there's growing up, I was always really skinny. So being skinny was not the good thing. Having curves was the thing. So being the skinny girl was never what was desired. So I never wanted to be the skinny girl. So when he said those words, I was triggered. Why? Because it was a belief, something that I had rooted deep, deep, deep within me about my own self-concept that I was feeling and thinking. So a month or two goes by, I share the story with like the closest people to me. Everybody was like, yeah, that was so wrong. He shouldn't have said that, da 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 da. But I started to take ownership on what he said. And I was like, okay, well, why did that bother me? Why didn't I just let that go? Why did it affect me in this way? It's like, okay, well, there was a belief within me. So last week or the week before, I go to the same farmer's market and I see him standing over there. And I'm like, oh God, he's going to say something to me. So he comes over there to me and he's like, hey, how are you? I was like, I'm doing good. How are you doing? And the conversation just starts, and he's like, I'm really sorry for what I said to you. And I look at him and I'm like, I really appreciate that for you saying that. And he was like, yeah, I was actually just trying to tell you that you look really good, and it came off saying skinny. And he's like, and I thought about it later when I got home, and I was just like, why did I say that? Like, I should have just told her, hey, you look really good, but instead I told her she looked really skinny. And I started laughing because I took it in a bad way, and I could have just let it fly off and not let it bother me. I wasted time being upset about what he said. And I laughed and I was like, thank you, I really appreciate it, and I let it go. And I was just like, wow, that was definitely a learning experience too, but it was also an uncovering, because if it wasn't for that situation, I wouldn't have been able to then look within myself to know I was feeling that way. So if ever there's a trigger or something that comes up for you, look at, how is this actually serving me? How is this situation actually a situation that could be beneficial for me? Because it may be coming up because it's something that you need to heal within you. And if you're here to do the work within yourself, then anytime a situation comes up or anytime that you hear something that upsets you or triggers you, you're going to need and also desire to resolve that and to fix that. So this is just to encourage you to, take a deeper look at yourself, and to also really be mindful of the thoughts that you're thinking about throughout your days. So it's very easy to just go into an idle state of mind and to just allow your thoughts to really wander through your days. It's more challenging to be strict on what you're thinking and to be aware of what you're thinking. And if you notice that you're not feeling good, that's a great indication to show you, wow, I should probably pay attention to what I'm thinking about, because somehow what I'm thinking about does not serve me. And that's not to say that you're ignoring your circumstances, because you don't want to ignore what's going on in your reality and pretend like it's not happening, because that's invalidating what you're actually feeling. But you do want to bring the awareness to the thoughts that you're having, because these could be old thoughts. These could be old belief systems, and these could be old thoughts that are making you feel the way that you're feeling, and you don't need to feel that way. So it's really just about bringing more awareness to the thoughts that you're having about yourself, so that you can really look at your self-concept and be like, no, I'm actually awesome. I'm actually an amazing woman. I'm actually very talented. I'm creative. I'm gifted. I'm smart. I'm beautiful. Getting into those affirmations and finding maybe different affirmations that work for you throughout the day. So one of the other things that I want to share with you guys is to start to practice breath work. So we do breath work in a sense when we are practicing yoga. You're inhaling, you're exhaling, you're moving with the breath, you're linking your breath with movement, right? But what you want to start to do is to do more breath work that's more intentional and throughout your day. So there is a breathwork meditation. Hey girl. So there is a breathwork meditation, and it is from a guy named Wim Hof. So it's Wimhof or FF or LF, I don't know. He'll be one of the first ones to come up. He is a crazy brilliant man, and you'll probably see him with no shirt on out in like the ice cold, because he goes out there and is able to withstand the cold and the heat and all of these things because of how steady his nervous system is. His mind is so regulated that the cold or the heat does not affect him at all. So what you want to do is you want to look up Wim Hof meditation breath work. It's 10 minutes, and all it is just going to help to what it is just breath work. So it'll guide you. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And you'll notice like your heart will start to beat fast, your fingers will get tingly, and it's just a whole entire practice that's going to help to stabilize and also shift and regulate your nervous system. So a lot of the times that you can be able to know if you have a dysregulated nervous system is if in a state of conflict, in a state of fear, or in a state of anxiety, if your heart starts beating fast, if your voice starts to shake, if you start to laugh, or if you start to cry. Those are just the main things that show up when you have a dysregulated nervous system. So what you want to do is start to practice this breath work so that way when these situations come up and you're in conflict or you're in fear or you're in anxiety, you're able to handle them a lot better. So practicing this breath work, you're going to be able to be the observer of situations rather than being in the situation. You're almost able to just kind of look at the chaos and be like, okay, this is happening right now, but you're not in the chaos because your nervous system is so regulated that you're just able to just be like, chill, I'm good, I'm not getting in that. And that takes a level of practice to get into. So 10 minutes of breath work in the morning and at night is going to change so much for you. Now, if you decide you don't want to do it twice a day, just commit to doing it once a day. It's just 10 minutes, so you can squeeze it in. I like to do it in the car before I take off to go anywhere, or if I have idle time where I have to wait for something or an appointment or whatever it is. But taking 10 minutes just to do this breath work is going to make a huge shift. Now, it's one thing to say that you're going to do something, and there's another thing to actually do it. This has nothing to do with me, and it has everything to do with you. So I can give you the tools, but I can't make you do them. So it's up to you to be like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to self-regulate myself, and I'm not going to self-sabotage. And really, all it is just building trust within yourself. When you're able to build such a solid trust within yourself, you know that you're going to show up for you no matter what the situation is. If you wrote it on your list, if you told somebody, hey, this is what I have to do, that is what you're going to do, because you're building that trust and that safety here within yourself. And the more that you do that, the more you're going to gain confidence, the more you're going to gain belief, the more you're going to gain all of these beautiful things that you can experience within your life, because you have built this solid foundation here within yourself. So focusing on building that foundation and focusing on your breath work so that you can start to transition and move through your days with more ease, love, and grace. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I love you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Mwah!